Yo, when you think about it, fandoms are a weird thing. You get together these large groups of people who for the most part have nothing to do with each other and have nothing in common aside from the fact that they like this one thing. And in a way, it's kind of nice. You have all these people of different lifestyles, different beliefs, different race that can all come together for this one common interest. But as always, when you get large groups of people together, there's always conflict. And I feel like the conflict get even more volatile when the thing connecting you is as superficial as we both like Japanese cartoons. This is a huge problem in the wider anime fandom just because of how many people they are and the wide array of personalities that are inside of that community. And I think that's why over time you start to see people stick to discourse about one series and not really venture into talking about other series, because interacting with multiple anime fandoms is just a headache, especially because anime fans are massive gatekeepers. So getting in or out of any fandom once you're already locked into one is basically impossible. That's also why when you see new series blowing up like Sakamoto Days or Kagurabachi, people are rushing to claim those series so that they can claim a spot in the community and not just be an add-on, because they know if they come in later, they're gonna be getting gatekept at every turn. You know it's only a matter of time before Kagurabachi fans start clowning on people for not being day ones, right? I hope you're not one of those people that hop on Kagurabachi at like chapter 50, because I know those fans will never let you live it down. But as fans of every series start to insulate themselves more and more, you start to see little cultures popping up in every fandom. Every fandom has its own particular culture that is not like any other anime fandom. And it's crazy because when this idea first popped into my head, the idea was to make a video about the worst anime fandoms. But over time, as I thought the idea over, I realized they all suck. So I decided I'm just gonna shit on all of them. So this video is gonna be about the worst thing about every anime fandom. Well, at least everyone I get to. Starting out with... Now, the One Piece fandom is huge, to the point where I would say that shit might need to get purged. But I think the One Piece fandom's massive size causes one of its main problems, which I think is just how cliquey it is.
Clique, a small, exclusive group of individuals, cabal.
Like everybody needs to find their group that they fit into and stick with that group, which is something I already talked about in the wider problems with the anime fandom. But even when you get into the One Piece fandom, they create their even smaller groups of people that are fans of these certain characters. And then within these smaller groups, they also create their own internal culture with their own internal beliefs. And as they talk to each other more and more and cement these beliefs in their head, the groups separate even more to the point where discourse between them is almost impossible. And it gets to the point where if you talk to any given 4 or 5 One Piece fans, those fans will all have completely different outlooks on the series. They'll have different thoughts about the power scaling, they'll have different thoughts about the themes, they'll have different thoughts about the characters. There is no consistent identity in the One Piece fandom. And not only does this cause problems for people that are already in the fandom, but it causes problems for people that are outside the fandom as well. Because let's say I'm a fan of Hunter x Hunter, but I dabble in One Piece. There is no way that I can talk about One Piece that I won't piss off a certain group of One Piece fans and get hate. If you say something about the Admirals, Admiral fans will be on you. If you say something about Mihawk, Mihawk fans will be on you. If you say something about Sanji, Sanji fans will be on you. So for somebody that's not deeply entrenched in the fan base, it feels like, damn, these One Piece fans don't like shit. But these aren't the same people. And it gets to the point where people that are outside of the fandom just elect to not talk about the series at all, because no matter what they say, somebody's gonna be upset. And One Piece fans are so opinionated that they don't get a little upset. You can't just be wrong. You can't just disagree with them. You have to be a demon. You have to be hit. Next is... As of late, Hunter x Hunter fans don't talk much, mainly because they don't have much to talk about. But whenever I do hear from them, they're always just so over the top. Like, whenever I hear people talk about Hunter x Hunter, nothing in Hunter x Hunter can be normal. It always has to be a subversion of expectations and a genius deconstruction of the medium. It can't never be, oh, this was a good-ass arc. It always has to be, this arc really deconstructed the shonen genre. I think that's kind of my main problem with Hunter x Hunter fans. They're always throwing shonen under the bus. Hunter x Hunter isn't like all those other shonen. It's more refined. Shut the f up. And I love Hunter x Hunter. It's one of my favorite series. It's definitely in my top 5. But I swear you cannot talk about Hunter x Hunter without saying it's as good as the Bible or you're a hater. I couldn't count on all my fingers and toes how many times I've seen Hunter x Hunter fans try to get people to watch it by saying it's not your typical shonen. Like, what does that even mean? Now on to... Dragon Ball's been going on for a long time, and it's really interesting to see what happens when a series has fans of all these different generations, especially when the series has been so deeply ingrained in all these people's lives. And specifically, in the case of the Dragon Ball fandom, it makes them accept anything. Now, we've all seen Dragon Ball, we all love Dragon Ball, but we all know Dragon Ball has a tendency to make baffling story decisions somewhat frequently. And I think everybody will be in agreement about that fact, except for die-hard Dragon Ball fans. Because it feels like for die-hard Dragon Ball fans, any criticism of the series is out the window. bro. Like, they do not want to hear that shit. Not necessarily for Super. They don't give a fuck about Super. They will tear Super to shreds. But anything Z and before, they will not accept any slander of that shit, no matter how valid the slander is. Try to do it. Try to go criticize any part of Dragon Ball Z. Not Dragon Ball Super, but Z, and see the response you get. Dragon Ball fans will accept anything that Dragon Ball does, even if it breaks the internal logic of Dragon Ball. I always go back to this example, but the Namekian Dragon Balls, what the fuck was that? And nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about how the Namekian Dragon Balls fucked up the series, or the cluster that was the entire Buu saga. And you'll get a lot of backlash from even saying that, just saying like the Buu saga was, you know? And I think for Dragon Ball fans, it just comes down to the fact that for a lot of them, Dragon Ball was a formative experience in their life. Like, Dragon Ball changed their life literally. So they just can't take any criticism of it under any circumstance. Next, we got Since Naruto has ended, a lot of Naruto fans have chilled out. You don't really see Naruto fans get into any big problems anymore, but something that they've always done and that they will continue to do is that dumbass power scaling. And I don't really have any problem with power scaling. I actually think it can be kind of fun. But when I tell you Naruto fans take that shit too far, like, holy shit, I've never seen a fan base do more calculations, more research into quantum mechanics to verify the strength of their favorite characters. It's just insane. And it wouldn't be that big of a problem if a majority of Naruto power scaling wasn't cope. Because when you really sit back and look at it, you realize that a lot of Naruto power scaling just revolves around the fact that nobody wants to admit that the 4th Great Ninja War f***ed up the power scaling, and now none of it makes any sense. So instead of acknowledging that, Naruto fans just rather delude themselves into thinking all of Boruto's villains are all casually planetary, and Naruto and Sasuke are low universal or some shit. The 4th Great Ninja War just f***ed shit up. They had niggas spamming all they jutsu. Everybody had infinite chakra. It is what it is. But on to... As for Naruto's Sons fandom, their biggest issue is they're just delusional. I have never met a more delusional fan base in my life. Boruto fans are kind of like that one kid in school that would just constantly tell jokes, and they would always keep telling jokes and nobody would laugh, but they would keep telling the jokes and they swear to God that they were hilarious. That's how Boruto fans are with Boruto, just overly confident. The constant comparisons of Boruto to every other new gen, when every other new gen is better than Boruto and is doing better than Boruto, it's like, you have to stop at some point, bro. I even see them pick fights with One Piece fans constantly, and it's like, what do you gain from that? You're just gonna get made fun of, and they do get made fun of every time by every fandom, but they don't give up. I'll get at the Boruto fans. They got heart. They don't give up. Okay, let's talk about... After the ending, the Attack on Titan fan base was super split, and they are still super split. But I think the funny thing about Attack on Titan is the culture was already set before the split happened. So both sides still act the exact same. And their biggest issue is that they are so preachy. Everything about Attack on Titan is heavily moralized, and Attack on Titan fans will not let you forget that. At any point, if you ever disagree with an Attack on Titan fan on any discussion, they will try to call you a fascist. Everything with Attack on Titan, you're either a genocide supporter or you're a bootlicker. And it's not even just with those wider political things. Even with individual characters like Eren, Jesus Christ, the discussion around Eren is so cancer. If you look into any Attack on Titan discussion, you will see a clear line being drawn based on political beliefs.
Which I think is stupid as fuck when it comes to a fictional series, especially because that series is not made with any particular political belief in mind. Attack on Titan is actually supposed to be a deconstruction of your political beliefs, but instead people just use it to push whatever narrative they already believe.
Shut up, bitch.
Out of any fan base, Attack on Titan fans, I cannot stand you, and I love Attack on Titan. The next fan base is now JJK fans. I made a whole video about JJK fans because I can't stand them that much. But out of anything, I think the most annoying thing about JJK fans is you literally hate your mangaka. I've never seen a fan base act like this before. Y'all act like Gege actually came to your house and killed your puppy. Gege is a villainous nigga though. He don't give a f. But I've just never seen a fan base so eager to criticize every little thing that happens in the manga. And JJK has plenty of shit to criticize. It's not a perfect series by any means, but Jesus Christ, it doesn't even feel like y'all enjoy it. It's like y'all are just Stockholm Syndromed in. I think a lot of Jujutsu Kaisen fans had a certain idea of how the series was gonna pan out, and the series has not panned out at all how they thought it would. So now they just tune in every week to complain about how it didn't pan out how they thought it would. When it's like, you could just stop reading. Now for Chainsaw Man fans, y'all are just stupid. That's my biggest issue with Chainsaw Man fans. Y'all are idiots. I don't even read Chainsaw Man, but every time Chainsaw Man goes viral, it's because the fans are misunderstanding a very basic and straightforward plot point. And even I look at the shit and I'm like, well, this is obviously for this and that reason. And then I go read the comments and then it's, yeah, this is for this and that reason. How do Chainsaw Man fans that read it every week not understand this? Like recently, y'all know what happened with Denji and that one girl. That shit was crazy. But die-hard Chainsaw Man fans talking about they're gonna drop the series over this. Isn't this just what Chainsaw Man is about? It's like Denji consistently getting exploited, right? And then I read the comments and that's exactly what's happening. And this is a consistent thing with Chainsaw Man fans. I don't see this happen with any other series as consistently as it does with Chainsaw Man. All right. For the most part, JoJo fans are lovely people. They don't bother anybody. You don't really see them getting into arguments. They're not super toxic, but Jesus Christ, they are brain rotted. Like, I get it. JoJo's is super influential and there are a bunch of JoJo's references, but holy shit, shut the f up about JoJo's. Is that the only thing that's in your mind 24/7? Anytime anything happens, JoJo fans need to insert themselves somewhere. It's like they can't live without inserting themselves in some cultural event. And it can be funny sometimes, but after a while, it's like, bro, y'all niggas are like cockroaches. I always come across the, is this a JoJo's reference? Please, 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 please stop. And now finally, Fullmetal Alchemist fans, or specifically Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood fans, have a very specific problem. I like Fullmetal Alchemist, and I think it's great that you love Fullmetal Alchemist. But is there a way to like Fullmetal Alchemist without being completely pretentious about it? I know y'all have heard this before, but I've always heard people say that Fullmetal Alchemist is objectively the greatest anime of all time. What? Just like listening to that statement alone, that is an insane thing to say about any piece of media. But Fullmetal Alchemist fans actually do feel that way, and they make sure that they let you know at any turn. Like all the years where they brigaded my anime list just to keep Fullmetal Alchemist at the top, just so they could have that claim to being the objective top anime of all time or whatever. Even though, like, who gives a fuck about my anime list rankings? But they just can't help themselves. Fullmetal Alchemist is a great show, but it is by no means perfect, and your opinion on it is by no means objective. And honestly, that goes out to all anime fans. But yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all boys today. Let me know who you think is the worst anime fandom of all time in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video, or dislike the video, I don't care. Subscribe to the channel, and yeah, man, I'm gone.
Damn, I can't forget about them late nights. I'm stuck in the middle.